What is up, you guys? It's just Ryan and Maze, and today's episode is going to be cruise horror experiences. Would you like to start us off, Maze?
Well, I'm sure you remember. I don't think it's not the worst thing that happened, but like it was such a big inconvenience for that day. So all of us decided that we were gonna go and we were gonna hang out in the hot tub.
Right.
And of course, that's literally the only adult thing that we have on the boat is these obnoxiously very warm hot tubs.
There's no pool
There's no
for
kid,
the
like,
adults.
yeah, it's all kid stuff. It's all available to kids. Very annoying. So, we head over to the hot tubs. I put all of my stuff like a short distance away from everybody else's stuff. You know,
Right. Yeah.
whatever. So we're enjoying ourselves, having ourselves a good time. People start to leave. It's hot. There's other things to do. So eventually, our family was the only ones left in the hot tub. So at that point, we're just like, okay, we're gonna get ready for dinner. And of course, as soon as I go to get out of the hot tub, I don't see my flip-flops anywhere. And, they're not, like, designer flip-flops, but they were my flip-flops,
Those are
understand?
expensive enough.
Yeah. So,
They
I'm
were.
looking at
They
my
were.
flip-flops
What brand were they?
everywhere. They're just, Crocs.
Crocs. Yeah, there was the Croc flops.
Because they have the arch in them, and I, need that for my footsie support.
Right. So then what happened?
You were there. My flip-flops were gone.
They weren't there.
They were taken. Somebody took my flip-flop.
So what do we do?
Well, we wasted our entire day. We had to go down to guest services. Luckily, at that time, the line wasn't too long. But we were waiting there for a little bit, and then eventually we got called over, and I basically had to tell them that my flip-flops were stolen. And they were like, oh, well, we have this lost and found. Our people on the ship, they come and they grab stuff. And I'm like, so you're telling me one of your attendants probably grabbed my flip-flops? And she's like, yeah, let me just go check lost and found. And I was like, she walked off, and I looked at Ryan, and I was like, everybody else's stuff was there. Why would they just go and take my flip-flops if that were the case?
And then they came
Of
back
course.
and started questioning if we're lying about the whole thing.
Well, that was when the security guard came over, but yeah.
Right.
So the security guard came over, and he's like, oh, we're gonna need to check your room. Are you 100% sure that, your flip-flops are gone? I'm like, sir, I am literally walking with no shoes right now. I have
In our
no
bathing
shoes on.
suits
Why would I
still.
do that for fun? Yes, I was still in my bathing suit. It's very annoying. I came in there to guest services. Yeah, sopping wet. Probably leaving little puddles everywhere for people to trip on.
What is up, you guys? It's
Um,
just Ryan and Maze, and this is a
Yeah, no, I was like, I have no shoes on. I am not doing this because I want to walk around the ship barefoot. In fact, that was super unsanitary. I took a shower immediately afterwards. It was not a good time. So, like, for a day and a half, I had no shoesies. I had to go over there. I had to go to Ryan's mom and borrow her shoes. It's really an annoying ordeal. I mean, you may not think it as a horror story, but like, yeah, when I went to get up and go out, I was like, I have to wear sneakers and it's 90-degree weather. Like, that sucks. It sucks. That was just a mess.
And then the next day, eventually, we did get a call. And
Yes.
they did end up finding the flip-flops.
They did. Some old man apparently mistaken my flip-flops for his own.
Even though it didn't look anything at all similar.
No, it didn't look anything like it. But you know what? I didn't care. Once the security guard told me that it was just some old dude, I was like, I don't care. I just want my flip-flops. That's it. I just want my flip-flops. And that's all I did for the rest of the trip. I never went to the hot tub again. Nope. Never did it. Didn't leave my flip-flops anywhere. I wore them everywhere. And
then speaking of old people, there was a ton of old people on the boat riding their little scooters, go-karting around like they're on Mario Kart.
Oh my god. Yeah, and then they take up the whole elevator, and like 2 of them are already in there, and then a third one drives by. I'm like, nah, no, you're not fitting in this elevator.
Is there enough room for 2 more people? Even though there's 20 people already stuffed in there. There's beach whales freaking inside. There's everything. It says maximum 20 capacity, and we're already max capacity is 6.
Yeah, because, 2 of them ate the rest of the passengers, but, it's alright.
Yes. So what they should do, like we said, is...
Oh my god, yes, strollers and
have a specific elevator for strollers with kids that can literally walk themselves and old people. Because all the families come and bring their kids, and all these kids are old enough to be walking. They don't need their strollers. The parents just don't want to carry the kids. So they inconvenience everybody else by blocking up all the elevators because they're taking up all the room.
Yep. And it really sucks, especially around like busy times, like show times, dinner times. It is so inconvenient when they come in there with their strollers and there's already 10, 15, 20 people in the elevator and they're like, hey, I got this double stroller for my 2 kiddos. Can I fit?
You guys got room. Squishes everybody. The elevator,
literally
you can hear it creaking and it's
literally
breaking.
Backed in.
One more pound and we're all dying because we're falling down the shaft. It's just how it is. I don't understand. And then they got the smoking section where the hangout area is up top at the pool deck. So the layout of this boat isn't even good.
No, it's the worst because like the wind just blows. I mean, because you're constantly moving. Obviously, you're on a ship, and so there's like a constant breeze that wind tunnels because there's on the 15th floor. There's 15 and 16, but it's like open on the top, so they have all their beach chairs up there, so it's like a wind tunnel once you go on the 15th floor, not on the 16th.
Right, and all that smoke is just
all the smoke
tornadoing everywhere.
In there.
And so for people with asthma issues, it's an issue.
Yes.
So you gotta constantly go up the stairs, you go down the stairs, trying to dodge all the smoke left and right, but there's no way to dodge it. And on one of the ships we went into the casino just to check it out. As soon as the elevator opened, it freaking hit you like a wall.
Like, you could smell it.
Like it was a fog wall from Elden Ring. We thought a boss fight was coming.
Literally.
I could hear the boss fight music, and I was like, what the hell is going on here? Am I about to get rolled over and killed? What's going on?
It was pretty wild.
But that's all the time we have for this episode. So if you would like to comment your cruising horror stories, or just any horror stories in general.
If you have a story that's worse than my flip-flops, please enlighten me. I feel a little embarrassed talking about it because it really isn't that bad, but it was so annoying. It was annoying. Don't judge me. But I want to hear your cruising horror stories.
Yes. So please like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more of these podcast gameplay video type things. And we will see you in the next video.